I think you. Oh, hello. Hi, I'm Mr. Lee, and we are here to celebrate Earth Day, which is, as you know, every day. But today is special because the University of Hawaii, for over 35 years, has been gathering our community to recycle, to talk about the earth, to learn about the geography and all of the plants that are growing and all the exciting things. But I'm here to talk to you about making masks, about making little characters come to life with objects that we have all around our house. Maybe we use some masking tape, maybe we use the paper bag, maybe the newspaper. We're going to be cutting things out. I was the oldest of 8 children, and it was my responsibility to tell stories, keep everybody together, have fun, use what we have. So we would go in the backyard, find a bunch of sticks, put things together. We would come in, play the piano, have plays, tell stories. Well, that's what we're going to do now. We're in this special time of COVID. So we're going to utilize things that we know, for example, the dolphin in the sea, and our own face, and maybe we can combine them. So it's about something very simple, as we know, the paper towel roll. We all have these, and we're going to learn how to cut and form and utilize them, and possibly start to create what the Hawaiians called a ki'i, an object. Now, some people may even see it as sculpture. It's all in the realm of the beautiful world of art, learning how to express that which we love the most. And so on Earth Day, we gather, we stop, we look at the materials that we have. For example, the newspaper. We're going to be working with our own newspaper. You may have some scrap paper. We're going to scratch and doodle and draw. Masking tape, a very basic household phenomenon. We're going to use masking tape. A pair of scissors. Safety is a rule, so please be careful. Where are the adults? I hope you are with us. We call this Ohana Arts. Masking tape, pair of scissors, scrap paper, maybe a pencil, could be a ballpoint pen, maybe even a marker, could be some crayons, whatever it is that will make a mark. Or you might want to do it all in the silent language of mime. We can put the objects together, we can cut them, we can twist and make the shapes stay together. Or, again, recycling. I know some of us like to watch movies on TV, and we like to have some popcorn. I want you to take a look inside of the box. Before we take it apart, I want to tell you something. There's the robot in the factory. And as this cardboard is sliding by, it puts a little slab of glue on the cardboard, and that's what seals the box. So we don't have to use our scissors yet, or we don't have to rip it. But if you look inside at that lip, we're going to just slowly one side to the other. Open it up, and it gives us this flat material with the lines already cut out for us. So we're going to be cutting those out later. But right now, to help us get started, we're going to take a look at our own hands. So whether you are lefty or righty, we're going to put our hand down and we're going to trace it. Now, when I was a young person, my hands were for throwing the baseball, throwing the football, learning how to hold a ping pong. But now we're just going to put our hand down and we're going to trace it. I'm just using a pencil. And this is a part of even what I'm doing with you right now. We're getting to know each other. This is part of the warm-up. So as we trace our hand down, this is one of the elements that we're going to be working with. Left hand, right hand. We're going to be, as we say, cutting and forming and drawing together. But as part of the warm-up, we just put our hand down on a piece of scrap paper and we traced it. Yes? Now we can take another, say a ballpoint pen, and on that, inside of the hand, we're going to make all kinds of marks. We call these the cross hatching. We have the zigzag. We have do-da diddly dots. We have jagged lines. We have crooked, straight, all kinds. Just moving your hand around in there. And right away, I was thinking about outside. I could hear the cars. I hear the people talking to each other. But as I trace my hand, as I take my pen, I'm starting to focus. I'm starting to concentrate. Because really, why we are gathered here, especially for Earth Day, we want to tell stories. We want to tell stories that are going to grow just like a seed that we plant in the ground, and it starts to create little roots going down, and then a stem comes up, and out of that stem a little leaf sprouts, and then we see the flowers, and there is the fruit. So there's no other way that we can work within the arts except thinking of that seed. And the seed is something you have inside of you. It's your image that comes along. And the one that we're working with today, our hand. Down, we traced it, we warmed up with different shapes, and now, to get a little more complicated, we're going to take a pair of scissors. And with these scissors, we're going to cut out the lines that we drew along our hand. And I mentioned that I was the oldest of 8 children, and out of that, my sisters began to sing so much and so beautifully that my father said, "You should be in a play." So we joined the playhouse in our town, and we started to be a part of Peter Pan, Tom Sawyer, Babes in Toyland. Then we went to the adult theater. We were doing Oklahoma, The Music Man, many, many shows, and you have to fall in love with the audience. That is the first thing that happens to you. You're not with your family. You're not even with your friends. You're out there alone on the stage expressing something. And isn't that something we do when we take a walk in the forest, when we go into the garden? We see all of those friends, the plants that are growing, the trees that are providing the shade for us. So we thank Mother Earth for the joy that she gives us. And now we have actually my own hand, and then we have the hand already decorated. It can start to move around and express itself. If we had a stronger light here, we would see that it's leaving a shadow down here. And we also look, we have an empty space here. And this empty space is known as the negative space. And this is the positive space. I put it back inside there, the negative and the positive. So very simply, just getting started, just meeting each other, just learning to use something very simple, a pair of scissors, a pen or a pencil, some scrap paper. Now, for example, we opened up the box, we take the hand, we place it down on the cardboard, and we're going to trace it again. And this is part of our vocabulary of arts that we're learning, because we are now making what we call a pattern or a template. And as we trace, we go along and we see there's the hand again. So we're going to take our scissors, we're going to cut that out, and ladies and gentlemen, we're already well on our way to using recycled materials, tracing, creating a pattern, and this is going to enable us to get into the arts of puppetry, sculpture, creating objects. As I said, in Hawaii we call it a ki'i. And from there, it's going to help us to tell stories. So I'm asking you to listen to Mother Nature, listen to what the birds are singing. There may be a story in there. I have a couple of stories I'd like to work with. One of them is called The Golden Lehua. Another one is from Laupohoihoi, having to do with Poliahu and Pele racing their holua down the mountainside. We also have many, many other stories right here in Hilo. Rainbow Falls, which is actually Wainui Nui, and that's where Maui came to protect his mom from the mo'o, the giant lizard that was inside the cave. So please take a look at recycling, creating our first little, literally, hand puppet waving to you, thanking you for joining us. And my name is Mr. Lee, and we are here to celebrate and to create. Thank you for joining. Mahalo. Aloha. Mr. Lee again. Welcome to Earth Day. What do we have here? I come from the state of Ohio originally, and we used to call something like this a bric-a-brac container. You can call it whatever you want. Some people call it a whatchamacallit. But what it is you start to find things arrive around in the kitchen. For example, how do you like this? A kukui nut. Here we have a bottle top. Here's from a plumbing thing. This is from a cork. And gee, I don't know. Am I going to throw this away? No. It goes in my whatchamacallit bottle or my bric-a-brac thingamajig. And there you go. Because we're going to be using this stuff. Could be eyes, could be a nose, could be a mouth. Might be Pinocchio right inside of here. We don't even know. And so, it does look like there's a menehune stuck in there. So we'll let him play around in there for a while. But what we're going to do, since we've had the warm-up, we've been working with our hands, we're going to take a look at our daily newspaper. And we're just going to open it up And we're going to take a look at one of the corners right here. And we look down the newspaper and we see the other corner. So from one corner to the other corner. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Look who won. There was over 20. Oh, so this is my chance to read. Did you see that? You can get for only nine. Oh, sorry. So anyway, take the paper, and this is where you need your little menahuni fingers. This is not so easy. We're starting to fold, roll, curl as tight as we can. Now, for those of you who play baseball, are you going to hit a home run the first time you get up to bat? Those of you who play basketball, are you going to hit that three-pointer from half court the first time? I don't think so. So in other words, we have to practice. So our hands are rolling and tucking in as tight as we can be. This one's turning out to be a little fluffier than I want, but that's okay because this is the process. Here's what we're doing. All the way down, we end up with this little triangle, and hopefully we have some masking tape, our secret ingredient, and at the tip of that triangle, we tape it down. Now, what is this? This could be a twirling stick in our fingers here. This could be a telescope looking up, helping the scientists up in Mauna Kea. It could be a bat for baseball. It could be many different things. But here's another one that I made before. We start to put two of these together. They're much stronger. This could be the background. This could be a base. This could be many different things, but you have to practice. So we're going to try it one more time. We're going to open it up. And of course, right here, can you believe it? At the funny pages. And let me see. Baby blues. Can you? Oh, sorry. So now, right here, that corner down to this corner. And believe you me, especially for the teachers, this is something that has to be practiced. You cannot get this the first time, as you saw from my first example. But now I'm a little bit tighter, and that's going to help make it stronger. So this will provide us with so-called sticks. We don't have to use anything else. Again, we're rolling, 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 rolling. You tuck it under. You have a piece of tape ready on the side. There's our favorite little triangle. We tape it down and it's nice and steady. Okay, now at the ends, it's a little soft there. If I put something on there, it will just collapse. So, to get ready to work, I'm going to cut out, tear, rip, whatever works best. Already have some masking tape. And now, for example, at this end, I'm going to fold where you could feel it being soft. And that's where I put some tape there. Makes it a little bit stronger. On the other side, I also do that. And now I go, wow, this is way too long. So where I put that tape right in the middle, I'm going to reinforce. Reinforce means to put another piece over. And that's where I can cut if I can find my scissors, which have disappeared. Hello, scissors. I cut right where I put the tape, and now it doesn't unravel. It stays together. But look what just happened here. I'm able to make a little triangle. I can put it down, I see the shape. We're getting into geometry right here. Look at that beautiful shape. I can change the shape. I can cut this piece, add it here. I can start to build, construct things. So this isn't just about puppets or about even sculpture. We can go into mathematics, we can go into design, all kinds of elements. So now we have this, and we're going to go into something else, which requires a scrap piece of paper. And we're going to take that scrap piece of paper and we're going to fold it right in half, just like an open book. I look inside, and once upon a time, there were 3 menahunis, and they were running through the, see where it's folded? This corner that's closest to you, but farther away from me, that's where I'm going to fold and make a triangle on this paper. And as I fold it back down, somewhere along here, I'm going to make a cut, maybe of a half of a circle. When I open that up, it gives me the shape of an eye, but because I had also folded the paper, possibility of being 2 eyes. From the eye to the chin, we fold the paper up, put a little pinch there. That line shows us where we can make a shape, which I'm just going to make a curve for the nose. And then halfway from the nose to the bottom of the paper, which is the chin, we're going to cut the shape for the mouth. And now we turn it upside down and hold it where it's folded. We cut around the eyes, and that's where we make a shape for the ear, and then we cut down to the chin. Now, something interesting just happened. We end up with these extra shapes, which turn out to be the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And that's being seen from the camera up above. That's the use of our negative space. But now we take a look at the mask that we just made. So we're going to take a piece of tape, and we're going to take one of our sticks that we rolled the paper. We put the tape halfway on the strip. And now we bring our mask up. We put the rest of that half on there. And we have our first character, a little mask. Now this character could be part of the story. It could be just a decoration, or it may be the beginning of an entire figure. And that's what we're going to show you as we move to the paper towel rolls. And you remember about those. So please make sure you have some paper towel rolls that we can work on our next episode with. But this is the rolling of the paper, the use of the scrap paper, folding and cutting, and this gives us our first mask. Now, is this a portrait of me? No. Is it a portrait of anybody that I know? No. It's a abstraction, if you will. It's a sketch, but it shows us the beginning of a character. If you're going to work for Pixar, you're going to work for Disney, you have to learn how to sketch, how to draw, how to cut and form, and then we can begin to tell our stories. So here we go. As we can see from the overhead camera, we see the positive and the negative. Again, we're going to take a look at these rolls, the different sizes here. This can now start to become a fence, a wall, a backdrop, or even a floor, the base that we can have our puppets to stand upon, our sculpture, our characters, our ki'i. So ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm asking you to find some paper towel rolls so we can begin the next episode. Mahalo. Aloha, Earth Day. And I know you are taking many classes. I know that you're in the garden, you're in the forest. We are so blessed in Hawaii with Mother Nature, with the Pacific Ocean, with the coral, with the lava, with the waterfalls, beyond inspiration, right in your backyard. So many seeds, twigs, branches, leaves. So things that we talked about earlier about tracing, when we put our hand down, we can also do that with a leaf. Put the leaf down on the piece of paper and trace that, and you have this beautiful form. And maybe even the beginning of a story. So now we're going to take a look at a little box, as we mentioned before. We look inside, we find that little lip that the glue came from the robot in the factory, and we see that, it's very easy to open up. So we open one side, and you do not have to rip or tear or cut these with scissors. We'd rather you do it by hand, and you end up with the ability to see through there. You look at the lip, and it gives us this shape. And what we're going to do, these lines that are here, we're going to say thank you to the robot for having to cut that for us, made that drawing, made that line, and the reason is we end up with this almost a square, could be a rectangle. And we're not going to work with the side that has the print. We're going to work with the dull side, because this we can decorate, we can paint, we can use crayon on. So before we made the face, we're going to try it again now with the cardboard. So we're going to fold the cardboard in half. And this long fold right here, looking down inside in origami, this is the valley. This is the valley fold. When we hold it this way, we call this the mountain fold. And since it's the long way, we're calling it the hot dog fold. If it's the wide way, it's the hamburger fold. So hamburger and valley, mountain. Okay? So now, do you remember, we took the corner that's away from us, that's folded, and we fold it toward us, and we make a triangle shape. Now, you might want to take one of your pen or pencils, and you push down on where you fold it to get a nice, what we call a crease there. See that triangle? This side is open here. Now, with the scissors, right wherever you would like, wherever you feel, I'm going to do it a little bit down away from the middle. I open it up, it gives me a little peephole, and yes, I can see you. But because I had folded it when I open it up, I get two eyes in there. Now, fold it back again, and from the eye to the bottom of the paper, we fold this up, and we pinch, just a pinch. And that pinch gives us a little line, and that's where we're going to cut a shape for the nose. Maybe just a simple triangular cut that gives us the nose. Then from the shape of the nose to the bottom of the chin, we're going to fold that halfway and get a pinch, and that gives us the spacing for the mouth. We cut a little shape in there, and we now have eye, nose, and mouth. And again, we are looking at the side that does not have the print on it. This is the side. Again, fold it upside down and hold it where it's folded. And right from there, the top around the eyes, and then the hardest part, turning the paper, and we're going to make some kind of a shape. And I'm going to make the tiniest ear in the world. But because the paper's folded, I'm going to end up with 2 ears. And now when we open it up, we have the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and these 2 teeny weeny little ears. Is it a portrait of me? Does it look like anybody I know? No. It's a sketch. It's just like doing a doodle. We are playing with shapes and forms. The eye, the nose, the mouth, and the ears. And now we take one of those forms that we had rolled before, and we have some strips of masking tape. And remember, we can place it on the stick, and that's what we did when we made this with the piece of scrap paper. Well, this time we're going to turn it into a hand puppet, and many of you know the Muppets, and those are made with foam and different fabric, and that can begin to speak. But to get us started, we're just going to make a very simple, using the paper towel roll and adding the mask to the top, just like that. So, one of our paper towel rolls. Again, we're going to put some masking tape, and we usually put halfway on, which leaves the other half with the sticky side, and that enables us to take the mask that we cut out, and we're going to place it. And of course, are we allowed to make mistakes? Yes, we can. So right here, without any decoration, I don't even know this character's name yet. We put our fingers right through here, and later on we can talk about using such things as colored tissue paper. This can begin to become a costume, and the character starts to dance, move around, and we start to say, "What's your name?" Sorry, but he wants to take a nap. I understand. It's been a hard day being recycled there. You need to rest. Okay? So we have the face and the beginning of the body. And this is going to lead us into very sculptural issues where we're going to use our bric-a-brac, look in there and see if we have anything we could use. Maybe we want to have a tongue that sticks out. Maybe he has funny looking eyes. It might turn out to be part of a hat. So please, the bric-a-brac container is going to be important. You have to start to save these little objects around the house. You have to start to save the paper towel rolls. And then to make the mask, the face, you're going to have to practice. So we're going to try it one more time. The other side of the carton, we look at those lines, and we're going to go straight down there. Now for the teachers or members of the Ohana who are watching, one of the things I want to say is one of the best art materials is the cereal box. Please do not throw those away. And then people say, oh, but they're so thick, they're so fat. Open them up with that little lip on the inside, and it becomes flat. And it fits right inside of a grocery bag or a Xerox box, and you can save hundreds of these. And they're very simple and easy material, one of the best art materials. We fold it in half. You hold it like an open book. The opposite corner, create a triangle in a fold. Use the scissors or the side of the pen to fold that down, and that's where we're going to cut and make a shape that turns out to be our eyes. Then from the bottom we fold up to where we cut the eyes, right on the side, pinch, and that's where the nose is going to be. From the bottom to the nose, cut, pinch, that's where the mouth is going to be. Hold it upside down where it's folded, cut around the eyes, and we're going to make bigger ears this time. And we get our face. Now, we're not using this printed side because this is where you're going to decorate. And this is a chance to study cultures around the world. And especially if you're interested in Polynesian culture, you're going to be going to all the islands and seeing the incredible tattoo designs. And those can be drawn right on this face here. And you can begin to tell those stories of the Hokulea, because the sailors across the sea, the tattoos were very important. So instead of using our own skin, we have now a piece of cardboard, and we can start to draw and trace. We can take the sticks, put it on like that, or we use the paper towel roll and we get this dancing puppet, or we put it right on our fingers. And these two characters can begin to interact. Hello, as we're finishing our brief time together, we're showing you just one example, making the face, the body, using masking tape and the tissue that has been colored. Very simple, not even having to use the paint. How do we get to some of the things? Let's take a look at the paper towel roll. We're going to make very simple little cuts. The more you make, the better, actually, but just to give you an idea, I just made little cuts here. Now, what does that do? If I push down on it, it actually flanges there, makes it a little flat. Now, this enables me to connect to something. Very simply, taking that, it's a very important technique that enables us to create all kinds of objects. And you do it on the other side, or you do it to another paper towel roll, and that enables you to connect and get some very expressive, beautiful shapes. Now again, I open it up. And this, by combining these, you can see straight on, or I can make it curve which can give me the sense of the shoulder and the arm. And to better illustrate that, that's where we connected it here with the masking tape. So it gave me the arms going straight out. Here I connected to the long tube, and it gives me the sense of the legs. We can start to dance. We can fly. We can change the face. We can add hair, decorations, painting, fabric. That's all up to you. But it all comes down to taking that paper towel roll, cutting along the edges just like 1/4 of an inch. And I'm not sure how many centimeters that is, but we call it a silly millimeter. And by doing that very simply, and a simple pair of scissors, you get this effect. You punch it down, and that enables you to connect. And where it's folded, that's where you add the masking tape. That enables you to create circular forms, very abstract forms, trees, plants, whatever you want. But we are interested in creating a sort of a character. Now, as I'm working on this character, whoops, he keeps falling down. So then we do something like this. As we're developing the characters, and you remember, we rolled the paper. And here the rolled paper turned out to be the arms and the legs. But I want it to stand up as I'm working. So I have a top from a recycled box. I tape it down, and now my figure can stay here. And guess what? This is also for the teachers and the ohana at home. I take the different materials I'm working on, and I can keep them now right here in the tray. And this becomes my workspace. And as I develop the character, if I like the way that he is, I can then just cut him from the box. And as we say, cut him loose. He's on his own. Here's another example. Right here, we took a paper towel roll. From the masking tape, you see this here empty. We put a face on here, but again, it's on a base. But look what's starting to happen. Can you see the expressions? The hands are different, the feet are different. But maybe you just want to work with a tall figure, almost like a totem pole. Again, another little trick is finding those googly eyes. The googly eyes can work. Whoops, everybody's falling down here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, look at that. Putting that down on a piece of cardboard, it stands up on its own. You're able to work on it easier and better. And the projects just keep coming. So now you can work on the legs. I didn't give him arms yet. This person has arms. And guess what? We said person because I shared my breath. This character has ha. It has life. And so we say aloha. See you at CosmoMimzi.com. Join us and let's continue the work. Aloha.